With Myung Kim on the blade dancer, on the left for KUDETA, and Hyungyu Kim will be on his usual assassin for GC Busan Red.
Ooh, backstep to dodge that.
The quick landmine. It's not gonna be popped now. Puts the flower down in case that escape does come up. Puts that waiting down, gets the initial strike onto Myung Kim. So Hyungyu Kim on the initial strike, he does force out the tab escape already. So it's a good chance for him now, putting down the bombard, double bombard onto the aerial. It's going to be putting on more damage. The landmine is planted. It's going to be popped for another knockdown. Myung Kim is without that tab escape for the next 20 seconds or so. So Hyungyu Kim is liking this situation and tries to go forward with it even more, but does get Phantom Grip.
Yep. And the flower is still down, but he has no chance to use it yet. But you know, Hyungyu Kim he's not in too much of a dangerous spot right now.
Yep. Oh, but it's actually a very good
he does take
combo,
he does take a lot of damage.
Hyungyu Kim using that usual blade dancer combo onto the lightning draw for that additional damage. So now the HP is sort of even between two sides. Gets him into another aerial. So Hyungyu Kim doing a good job right now. Double aerial will come out. He will not have the lightning draw this time around. Gets the Phantom Grip instead. The stun will go to the bombard. This might be Hyungyu Kim's turn to make his move, and stun is going up. And he doesn't have a but it's actually the other way around. Hyungyu Kim putting it back. Will this be enough damage? And it is. And Hyungyu Kim, despite being behind for majority of the early game, he does find the crucial stuns near the end. We mentioned that both players did not have the tab escape available, so it was the matter of who found that first stun into that damage, and Hyungyu Kim found it enough damage to finish him off.
Exactly. What happened? I'm pretty sure they're gonna show it in the replay. So there was a moment when they were both out of tab escapes, and they were playing it a little passive, trading blows, and then they got both of them got their tab escapes back, and from then on, like that was like mid game. From then on, it was the fight of who gets rid of the opponent's tab escape first. And right now, you saw that both of them used it at the same time. This is kind of early in the game.
It is.
So after this, they get it back, and then Hyungyu Kim is able to get it out first. I hope it shows. I hope it shows.
It is a crucial moment near the end when the tab escapes are both gone on both sides, and that really just opened up the opportunity for both sides to really try to go for that crucial stun, as we mentioned.
So soon, so here they both get tab escapes back, and Hyungyu Kim is doing a fair amount of damage, and he tab escapes out here. And that was you can't tab escape first when it's almost at the end. And he knows.
So that was a stun right there.
You give Hyungyu Kim the chance when he has his tab escape, then even though you're an assassin, you're not gonna have a way out if you're out of tab escapes.
And definitely ending, we have to mention about Hyungyu Kim's playstyle. He's always been that macho man, really going aggressive at all times, and he's never really the kind to back out of any situation. So going in first, I felt like Hyungyu Kim sort of reacted to that kind of playstyle and really had to go on that aggressive end of his mindset. So good job of Hyungyu Kim to reacting to that specific type of play, and Hyungyu Kim, he was gonna go the same way no matter what.
Yep, and look on the screen.
Oh, it's a big match coming up in the game 2 with Hyungyu Kwon on the Destroyer. As we expect, Hyungyu Kim is going to be on the Blade Dancer, so automatically Hyungyu Kwon without... He was on the Destroyer, So with
so Hyungyu Kwon's not on the Blade Dancer.
Yeah, he's on the Destroyer. So I think it's a very... It makes a lot of sense because Hyungyu Kim coming in the team as the Blade Dancer, so he's going to be the main Blade Dancer for the team. So with Hyungyu Kwon, you guys have seen him on the Blade Dancer do really well on it, but his secondary position is the Destroyer. So that's what he is going to be maining for and really trying to contribute that in the singles as well as attack. But the second match will come right underway. It's going to be against Juno Han on the Warlock. So it's going to be an interesting match too between KUDETA and GC Busan Red. We're going to get the match right underway. Let's get it on. Hear a lot of cheer for both sides. They're very popular teams composed of very popular players, and these two players are definitely not out of the list. Hyungyu Kwon on the Destroyer will be facing Juno Han on the Warlock. So Juno Han right now ranks #1 in the pre-server the last time we checked. So he's been working on that individual skills. So single should be his strongest asset.
Ooh, look at all the damage.
As we speak of that, at the #1 rank, finishes him off in 10 seconds. Angry Eyebrows is on.
Yes!
And he is definitely feeling it with his teammates. Look at him. He's a very, very confusing situation for Hyungyu Kwon as well. He did not expect that to come. Oh, Juno Han's feeling it right now. He's really just wants to win out this series, getting the cheer from the fans, and just rightfully so. Just a clean dominance from Juno Han against a very strong opposition of Hyogo Kwon.
He looks very happy right now.
He's
But you know,
satisfied.
as you know, this is the first game of the champion stage team, so it will be best out of 7.
Yeah.
Just remember for you know, those of you who joined in late, this is best out of 7, first to 6 points. And you know, unfortunately for Hyogo, he came out with the Fury build, you know, attempting to just take out Juno Han's tab escape and just do tons of damage, but he ended up taking the damage instead.
And we always know that the Fury build with the Destroyer is a very risky build where you really give up that the survivability that a Destroyer naturally has, but in exchange for more damage if you do get the opportunity. So he took that risk, Hyogo Kwon, but took that risk against his hand as he died up very cleanly against Juno Han.
Exactly, and now we are, you know, each team has 1 point apiece. We are going to be getting ready for our third match, which is tag match, which is worth 2 points.
And I'm definitely excited for what Juno Han is going to bring onto the stage with this tag match. He seems very stoked about this matchup in general, and just what he can bring with that Warlock will be a crucial contributor for GC BUSAN Red against KUDETA. But KUDETA, we still haven't seen Shingyun Kim and what he's going to do on this tag match or what he's going to do in this series overall. So it's going to be a lot of question marks that will be answered with this Game 3 coming up your way. So Sungjin Choi, also you'll see him for the first time, most likely on the Destroyer, it's not the Blade Dancer. So it's going to be a very interesting game thing, and we will move right on to that without any questions. And when KUDETA and GC BUSAN Red, Game 3 will be coming up very soon.
Yeah, and I'm very excited to see what Shingyun Kim will bring out. Oh yeah, he's on the Soul Fighter, yes.
Yeah.
So before that came up, I was going to say, you know, I'm excited to see what he's going to bring up because of that roster change, because you know, when Hyungju Kim was on KUDETA, he was the assassin, so Shingyun Kim had the luxury of picking a support or even maybe a Warlock to damage. But now Byung-woo Kim came in with the Blade Dancer and they got rid, or you know, they lost an assassin, so now Shingyun Kim has more burden on his shoulder as damage dealer.
But as the Game 3 music does change, we're going to move right along. The Soul Fighter with Shingyun Kim, will that be the difference maker between KUDETA and GC BUSAN Red? We will find out soon enough. Let's get it on. Continue on with what you've been mentioning, ending, is that Shingyun Kim on the Soul Fighter is a statement maker as to the support that you're making. They have to send out a Warlock, which is going to be Hyogo Kwon this time around. So Hyogo Kwon is going to take that leash into that teammate composition, but you know, they have to have Shingyun Kim now as the main damage dealer.
Well, I thought that would have been it, but you know, seeing Hyogo Kwon on the Warlock, that's just...
Oh my god, Juno Han! Oh, that
Hyogo Kwon
scream
is
coming
not going to
from
have
the
a
crowd.
chance
Oh
against
my
Juno
word.
Han as a Warlock mirror, because Juno Han is definitely more experienced with the Warlock compared to Hyogo Kwon.
And perhaps Hyogo Kwon thought that switching out from the Destroyer onto the Warlock would have give him a little more chance, but obviously not, as you know, he does get into the shackles up in the air, but not much damage coming from it. But now trying to put the damage with that interfere coming in, but the reactionary one comes in from GC BUSAN Red with that Destroyer as well. So Hyogo Kwon in a bit of a struggle that he has to overcome if he wants to give his team a win.
Yeah, and you know, Hyogo Kwon being on the Warlock, he definitely took the role of the main damage dealer rather than, you know, Shingyun Kim taking on that role. But you know, on the Soul Fighter, and when Shingyun Kim touches a class, it's the
Enough damage by Finny knocking him out, but he does tag out in time towards Shingyun Kim on that Soul Fighter. Shingyun Kim has to make work due to this experience. Oh, he's gonna start now putting in that damage onto Hyungju Kim, who actually did come in on that tag as well. So one tag point being used by both sides so far. So Shingyun Kim, his team needs a lot of help, and this might be the beginning of that actually. One damage and then interfere.
You interfered in with like 5% health. You don't do that. You know that.
Oh my goodness! And Hyogo Kwon should have known better that this wasn't the situation coming for the interfere. Hyunwoo Kim coming in to interfere would have been a lot better choice to go with, but now even Shingyun Kim is on the slimmest of health now, and Juno Han is going to be making this work and tries to at least get a tag point out of it again.
Yeah, Shingan Kim is gonna stay out because he does get his tab escape back. However, there we go. There's a tag. Hyogo Kwon dying with 1 tag and 2 interferes. Such early, like not even 3 minutes into the game. That is crucial for KUDETA.
And Juno Han, he's putting out damage as we speak. He's doing all the damage. He has been putting out 300% damage onto every player of the side of KUDETA. And Shingan Kim is left with 20% health against the 7 minutes and 30 seconds left in this game.
Yep, Shingan Kim is gonna try to do his best to do, as much damage, and he is doing some damage, but not good enough against a 1v3 right now.
And GC BUSAN Red, they know they're in a completely comfortable position right now. All they have to do is manage their interfere points and use that crucial damage, and that will be it as we speak. And GC BUSAN Red, they do not look like an even team to KUDETA.
Yeah, GC BUSAN Red takes the first tag of set 3, which makes the points 3-1, and it seems like Hyogo Kwon is kind of like numb. I should say he's like kind of numb in the head right now because him losing his first singles, it's such a fast, clean fashion by Juno Han, and coming into tag, he interferes in and dies, and the rest of his team gets melted by Juno Han.
But the argument I want to make with that ending is that on the other hand, it was Juno Han with the angry eyebrows.
Oh yeah, I can't argue with that. He has the angry.
This is Juno Han that we have not seen in all of Season 2.
Yeah.
We've seen him perform consistently well, and he knows has been a contributor to the team at all times. But this hard carry Juno Han in this current state of blade&soul esports, it's something that we haven't seen from him for a very long time.
Oh, exactly. And Hyogo Kwon right now, he interferes in and he dies.
Oh my god.
I don't know. He's a warlock. Maybe he thought for a second that he was on his destroyer or his blade dancer, so he wanted to come in and use the party buff or party skill to save his teammate. But he was on the warlock, and when you're on the warlock with 5 to 10% health, you don't interfere in like that the way he did.
Definitely Hyogo Kwon trying to play with fire, starting from the single when you build the Fury build onto that destroyer and getting knocked off early. And I guess when with the Warlock, you're trying to get the time distortion to give that tab escape back to his teammate, but it's just so much risk that you're taking with such little health available. You know that the interfere could reactionary come in from the side of GC BUSAN Red and knock you off immediately. And that eyebrows, I'm telling you, they're doing work right now.
Yeah, the eyebrow power is definitely working for them. You saw how hyped Juno was because he is in the serious mode. We mentioned this yesterday, Joel. Same thing with Group A and same thing with right now Group B. If you lose, you are knocked out. There's no more second chances today.
True. Yeah.
So right now they are the champion stage team, so they might have, it's the best out of 7, and even if they lose here, they have another chance to go up against a challenger team for the second seed later on. However, if you end up losing, you're done. Like So today is the last day to take the first seed and the second seed to move on to the semifinals.
And it is definitely the case with 3-1 currently towards the side of GC BUSAN Red. Shingan Kim will be out on that Soul Fighter once again. He feels somewhat confident on that class, even though many people still consider it to be not meta. And whether he wants to prove them wrong with the performance that he can show, he definitely didn't show as to the full extent that he could have shown in the tag match in Game 3. So Game 4 will be his chance to prove everybody wrong that Soul Fighter can be a valid pick in this current meta.
Exactly, and I'm just so excited to see Shingan Kim back on the Soul Fighter, even though it has been super nerfed and the music has changed. And let's get ready to go into the fourth set. Let's get it on.
Game 4 begins between KUDETA and GC BUSAN Red. GC BUSAN Red is currently 3-1 ahead of their opposition, and Shingan Kim is going to have to be the difference maker here for his team as he brings out the Soul Fighter once again for this singles against the World Destroyer Sungjin Choi. It's Sungjin Choi's first appearance in the singles for this series, so Shingan Kim has to make something work with it. We know that mobility will be the advantage against the Destroyer, so let's see how this actually turns out, because Shingan Kim, he's gonna have to look for some kind of positive asset, giving back to his team.
Yeah, and Shingen Kim is out of his tab escape already. 22 seconds left until he gets back. However, he is a soul fighter. He has so many mobilities.
It's true.
You know, he is. I don't know if he is Goku.
Yeah.
So yeah, look at that, teleporting everywhere. He does have the long range to keep his distance from the destroyer. Let's see how well Shingen Kim plays with the new nerfed soul fighter.
Yeah, and definitely the only class in Blade and Soul that is a little bit misleading with the lack of tab escape is the soul fighter. Like, even if you don't have the tab escape available, there's so many other ways that you can escape from situations. Like you see there, you can just move from place to place in an instant, and Sung Choi on the destroyer is going to be having to fight against that mobility, where the destroyer probably has one of the least mobility in the game.
Yeah, and right now, like, since it was a nerf soul fighter, usually when that aerial happens, Shingen Kim would usually change to martial stance and go in ground ripple.
Oh,
no!
this might be the chance.
This is not good.
The Judgment Cleave
This is
combo
not good.
still coming in. There's no foot from this hit. Does grab him into the air and gets him to the knockup into the face, and is continuing to put on that damage. He's going to throw him up in the air, and there he goes. Shingen Kim is going to take additional damage.
The chase tab escape.
Almost another stun. Able to connect, but the tab escape does come back in time. And Sung Choi on the offensive end now, after he knows that his opponent's lacking that tab escape. Even with that mobility, if you do get caught up in the stun, there's no way to escape that.
Yeah.
There he goes. And there's stun. This is a Judgment Cleave combo. Finally can come out. The spin will cut in. Judgment combo and to the grab, and that's gonna be more damage, putting him into the face once again. Shingen Kim, there's no way to react without the lack of escapes that he has. Another stun, and the Judgment Cleave with the finishing touch to finish him off. And KUDETA, just a devastating blow to them once again. Perhaps Shingen Kim would have been their last hope to give him another point in this singles, but just another loss for KUDETA, and GC BUSAN Red is currently just running away with the series.
Yeah, and right now, like you said, they are running with 4 points on GC BUSAN Red side and just 1 point on KUDETA. And next game, Game 5, is still a singles.
Yeah.
KUDETA definitely wants to take away the momentum from GC BUSAN Red. They don't want to almost be swept.
Yeah.
So they have to stop this momentum that GC BUSAN Red is on right now. Shingen Kim, he did perform well considering the Soul Fighter nerf. However, the Soul Fighter is still the nerf was so big.
Yeah.
I don't know if even Shingen Kim could pull it off.
And that's the question I really wanted to ask you, Ending, was that the Soul Fighter, nobody else plays it.
Yeah.
And every player that we ask around, Soul Fighter is not meta whatsoever from any sense of the matter.
Yeah.
But you mentioned it is Shingen Kim, though.
Yeah.
He's a player that can
Exactly.
make the impossible possible.
That's why I had the smallest hope that maybe Shingen Kim, because it's Shingen Kim, he could pull it off. But it is up against the World Destroyer, Sung Choi, so it's not gonna be. He's not gonna get off that easy.
We spoke of Junohan being the #1 ranked in Korea server right now on this current meta, but Sung Choi is #2. Sung Choi is #2 in that ranking. So GC BUSAN Red has the top 2 players in Korea just by the rankings. So I mean, you're trying to get that Soul Fighter to work, but when you're going up against a #2 player in Korea, it's really, really, really tough. So we saw that it didn't work out this time around, so Game 5 will be an interesting one as to who KUDETA will send out. Hopefully get a point back to their favor, but GC BUSAN Red is going to be feeling very comfortable. They can't get complacent off of this.
Yeah, KUDETA, all right, so we have Hyeogu Kwon back out and Hyungyu Kim. So, the first time around, Hyungyu Kim did lose to Byung-woo Kim on the first singles. That's how KUDETA has that 1 point. But Hyeogu Kwon, on the other hand, lost to Junohan super fast, if you guys remember. So both of the losers of the singles on each team, Hyeogu Kwon and Hyungyu Kim, are coming back out. And now, if somebody is gonna lose, and if whether it be Hyeogu Kwon or Hyungyu Kim, they're gonna be the one who lost twice today in singles, and that's gonna hit them all.
And we're gonna move right on to the last singles of this series between KUDETA and GC BUSAN Red. Hyeogu Kwon will be back out on that destroyer versus Hyungyu Kim on the assassin. We'll get the match going right underway. Let's get it on. And it is an interesting point to really mention that Hyuk-kwon, his main, it has been the Blade Dancer this whole time,
Yeah.
as far as we knew him, but he has not used that Blade Dancer once, even in the singles nor the tag. So but he does start off with the stun onto the Judgment Cleave into the aerial, putting him in the knockdown, and Hyung Kim is on the disadvantage, going for it. He does that body stop, trying to get that to work, but the back roll is what he's gonna opt for. The flower still down on the ground. If he chooses to use the body swap, it's gonna be happening. The bombard is gonna be the initial part of that damage. But Hyuk-kwon takes a little bit of damage before that damage chain. It has been stopped.
Yeah, and Hyuk-kwon this time around does not come out with the Fury Build. He wants that 2 escape with the persistence and his tag.
Perhaps he learned from the last time that didn't work. If you were going to be the losing end, it's not going to be very crucial for you, but you want to get a point back with the spinning onto the wall. There's no escape, but Hyung Kim does use that flower to use that body swap to get the work, but that was nice. Stun.
The back roll chase happened. Hyung Kim still does have his tab escape, so just be aware he is not done yet.
But
even
he's
though he has taken so much
taking a
damage.
lot of damage with that. Tab escape still available for Hyung Kim. He was trying to wait for that stun to come in before he used that, but he took a lot of damage before he decided to make that decision. So whether it was a good decision, we'll have to find out once the game actually does end. But Hyuk-kwon definitely on the winning end of this trade so far.
Yeah, and if you see, if you notice, when the camera goes back to Hyuk-kwon, the golden fish is alive. You see his tail spinning, like flickering. But yeah, anyways, yeah, Hyuk-kwon goes in. There we go. The tab escape is used by both sides right now.
And the stun does come out, which forces Hyung Kim to use that tab escape finally. And Hyuk-kwon, a lot of HP advantage towards his way, so Hyung Kim, he has to be a little bit careful before he is knocked down in an instant. But at the same time, you have to put on the offensive end, try to get the damage in, because on the assassin, if you do get that crucial stun in, you can't get that crucial damage onto him. He does knock him down with that landmine.
Another Shadow Slash right there. They're both gonna get their tab escapes back again, so you know they will be living for the moment. There's only 1 minute.
Gonna be happening. The bombard barely connects, and that's gonna be minimal damage onto it. The knockdown will happen. Whether it gets a good start, we'll have to see.
Shadow Slash.
Let's have the tab escape still available on both sides. If he chooses to use
another
the wall,
one!
another wall slash into the wall. There's no way for him to escape unless he uses the tab escape, which he does now. So Hyung Kim is gonna pull him in. The high wire
knocks him down.
Knocks him down. It's gonna be the landmine going onto the webbing. This might be the start of the damage for him, but the bombard trying to counter that damage. Hyuk-kwon without his escape. So this might be Hyung Kim's chance to really go for a little bit of aggressiveness and hopefully get that crucial stun to get a lot of damage on.
Yeah, they're both out of escapes. And Hyung Kim gets the body stop first.
Close.
But that's easy right there. Hyung Kim back roll chase. He is
the stun, and that might be it. And that is another win. This time going towards KUDETA this time around. Hyuk Kim. Hyuk-kwon.
You got too excited. I understand.
Yeah, that was a very exciting few seconds because Hyuk-kwon finally gets a point back for KUDETA, and this is going to be reaching towards the next tag series coming up. But finally, KUDETA somehow gets an answer. But Hyung Kim, we have to talk about this player though. He came back from KUDETA, and KUDETA, when they were performing in Season 2 and Season 1, you did mention this a few times that Hyung Kim was seemingly the worst player.
The weakest
player
just because not because Hyung Kim is bad, but because Hyuk-kwon and Shin Kim, the two players are too good. They are on the top tier of this Korean ladder, and you know they've won tournaments, placed first places. Shin Kim, 2 consecutive winner of the World Singles, you know, 2016, 2015. So you know, just because the two players are so good, it's not that Hyung Kim is bad.
Yeah. And definitely I would need a correction on that. And I think weaker is what we were trying to look for. But Hyung Kim was definitely the weaker player out of that 3. And just by result-oriented speaking here, he did lose out on the 2 singles so far and didn't contribute too much on that GC Busan Red's victory. Juno Han literally carried that tag one, so you can't say that Hyung Kim did a significant part for his team just quite yet. So as to what kind of statements these teammates are trying to make, because they need all 3 players to contribute if they want to make it to the furthest part of the stage. And this is only the first stage they're going to have to go through and make it to the semifinals, but in the end, all 3 players really do have to contribute equally for them to find the most success.
Oh yeah, exactly. And you know, I didn't want to say this before, you know, the 5th match ended. But you know, the score is 4 points towards GC Busan Red and 2 for KUDETA. So basically, if GC Busan Red, you know, whether they lose or win the 5th match, it wouldn't have mattered, because if they win the next match, they acquire 6 points and they are able to win. So, but you know, if GC Busan Red were to win, you know, the previous match, they would keep the momentum going. However, you know, it's not too much of a big deal for GC Busan Red. However, for KUDETA taking away that 1 point, you know, they kind of stopped that momentum. They slowed them down. So now we are going back, you know, starting with set 6, which is going to be worth 2 points. And if GC Busan Red were to win this, they are going to be moving up, taking over that seed 1.
And more importantly, if Junohan pulls out the same performance that he showed in the single and the first tag match of the series, it's gonna be a win towards GC Busan Red because he is hot fire when he does get on the roll. So it's the same roster that you guys already know. KUDETA and GC Busan Red will be the teams that are facing off in this. Might be potentially the last match of the series if GC Busan Red were to win out this one.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if Hyungwook comes out with the Warlock again. Probably because, you know, Byung-Ho Kim is 100% on the Blade Dancer. And Shin-Hyun Kim, I've heard him that, you know, he wants to maybe play or stick with the Soul Fighter this time around. So if that were to happen, then they need a Warlock to do, you know, that extra oomph with the damage.
And it's definitely backfire for the side of Shin-Hyun Kim with that Soul Fighter. Whether he can make it work this time, whether he changed to a different class, we'll have to find out in Game 6, potentially the last tag match of the series. Let's get the match underway. Let's get it on. This could be the last game of the series between KUDETA and GC Busan Red, and Junohan is going to come out on the Warlock as the first man out, and Shin-Hyun Kim, once again, back on the Soul Fighter.
Yep, and you know, Soul Fighter coming out first is what usually happened last year when Shin-Hyun Kim was on the Soul Fighter, and there we go with the Windstorm combo. Usually, you know, like I mentioned last time Shin-Hyun Kim was out, he would go in with the ground ripple, knocks him back, and does the Dragon Blitz combo, you know, the quote-unquote Ip Man combo. But, you know, it's been nerfed, so now he doesn't use it as much.
I definitely do. Yeah,
the playstyle has changed.
It's a different Soul Fighter that Shin-Hyun Kim is dealing with now, and he does send out the Warlock. Hyungwook Kwon does come in for that time distortion to get his Seven Escape back, but he has to use it right away once he does get it back. So Junohan, using that resources that he has and to his advantage, he doesn't have the tap escape also, but Junohan trying to get the damage onto him, which he has been doing so far. The Blade Dancer does come in on the interfere, trying to put the lightning draw into the damage, but not much coming in yet. So Junohan tags out, putting Hyungwook Kim back out for GC.
So much damage right now. Oh no,
Hyungwook Kwon. That was actually not even the Shin-Hyun Kim's damage, but it was the Warlock interfere, putting him to that area and putting a lot of damage in the matter of 5 seconds that he is out. So Shin-Hyun Kim doing work, but you know, Hyungwook Kwon probably takes a lot of credit for that. So Hyungwook Kim already being forced to use another tag point for GC Busan Red, and now they already used 2.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that because, you know, I love disagreeing. But anyways, yeah, I want to give so much credit to Shin-Hyun Kim right now for staying out, making GC Busan Red use 2 tag points.
That is very true. Yeah, that is
so
very true.
You don't get tag points back.
It's true.
And Shin-Hyun Kim will be forced tag, or you can call it free tag because he's been out, you know, for free. You don't have to use. There we go.
Shin-Hyun Kim making sort of making a statement with that new Soul Fighter. So everything he's done has been right. So you know, he just has to continue on with this to get him a victory for his team. But just for the first appearance in this specific tag match, he's done very well.
Oh yeah, so well right now. And again, they force GC Busan Red to use another tag point. So they are all at 1 tag point. You know, you look at KUDETA, they all have 2 tag points.
It is 6-3 in terms of tag points, and we know that tag points can be very crucial. We just repeat this over and over again, but
so crucial.
We can't overemphasize the importance of these resources of the tag points and the interfere points that some of them you don't even get back at the late part of the game. And we saw teams that make crucial plays off of these interferes, and just lacking those tag points just relieves of all that survivability that you could have if you did have it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, but Hyungwook Kwon is taking a lot of damage from Junohan.
Yeah.
Junohan is trying to come back, you know, revenge their teammates.
Yeah.
Look at their health bar.
Oh, but another tag point being used on both sides now. So Junohan is left without any tag points for the next 7 minutes until the end of the game. So they have to somehow make an early game movement to get a quick finish onto KUDETA. But in the end, the late game will be at a disadvantage for GC Busan Red.
Yeah, not having. Oh, Shin-Hyun Kim is taking some damage. No escape for now. All right, reactionary 2v2. Okay, so Shingyun Kim is on the Soul Fighter, and there we go. Waste storm, another
Warlock is coming
Soul
in
Fighter
for
combo.
Yeah, the Warlock Soul Fighter really making things work, putting Soul Fighter on that Shingyun Kim, puts him into that CC, and the Warlock comes in for that interfere to put in that additional combo with that damage. And the Assassin is now trying to make a move, but Hyungwoo Kim not making too much things work. He hasn't made anything work so far in this particular series. He's gonna have to do a lot better to give his side, GC BUSAN Red, the win here.
Yeah, and Shingyun Kim still has 2 interferes and a tag point.
Yep.
Hyungwoo Kim is the only one with the tag point, so if he decides to use that last tag, it will be, you know, everybody for themselves, because nobody on GC BUSAN Red will be able to tag out. They will have to last until the forced tag.
And definitely that other player that we haven't seen too much of in this series with Byung Kim on that Blade Dancer. We still don't know what his current condition is in this particular series, but he's up against Hyungwoo Kim, who has been relatively weak as well for the side of GC BUSAN Red, but they're trying to trade damage, puts that bombard down. Byung Kim does heal some of the HP right back.
That was a long back roll with the tab escape for that assassin just now. But anyways, yeah, Byung Kim does make Hyungwoo Kim use his tab escape, and they tag out. Hyungwoo Kwang comes in knowing that this assassin is out of all of his escape now by using that leaf just now.
Hey, but Hyungwoo Kim is still going in aggressively, putting that damage onto it. But somehow, that is enough damage from the Warlock of Hyungwoo Kwang to knock out Sungjin Choi immediately. The ultimate was good enough to put enough damage to knock him out, and suddenly KUDETA is up 3-2.
Yeah, Hyungwoo Kim interfered and tried to use the ult, but unfortunately did not connect.
Yep.
And Sungjin Choi also died during an interfere, if you guys have noticed. And, you know, Juno Han is out here right now. No tag points, as I mentioned. No one on GC BUSAN Red has a tag point, so they have to last until that forced tag. And Juno Han still has a full minute and 20 seconds for him to be on the field, all alone.
But just comparing the two matchups that we have with Hyungwoo Kwang and Juno Han, both on the Warlock, so it's a mirror match, but definitely Juno Han has been the better Warlock in this particular series, but Hyungwoo Kwang has been doing a little bit better in this tag match that we are seeing now, putting that interfere into good use and trying to put the damage, but Juno Han takes none of that. The familiar does dance around, jumping around the field. Juno Han gets his familiar out as well.
Yep, so we do have a minute and 20 seconds left until they get their interference back.
Will that be connecting? The ult will be connecting towards the familiar instead. So a little misclick perhaps, and could have been a better aiming towards Juno Han, but putting that damage nonetheless onto the familiar.
Yep, and if you guys notice, you know, KUDETA does still have 1 tag point per person except Hyungwoo Kwang.
Yep.
Whereas Juno Han and Hyungwoo Kim are out of tag points, and you don't get tag points back for those of you who may not have known. And there we go, another
ultimate is going to be connecting though. blade&soul ultimate actually getting a little bit of damage onto him as well. So Hyungwoo Kim doing a good job of trying to trade that ult and putting the damage onto both sides. But Juno Han will be out, but he's going to try to get the kill before he does go out on that force tag. He has 3 seconds to do it, but he's going to tag out just in time. Shingyun Kim is back out. The chase is definitely going to be attempted by, and this get good damage onto Hyungwoo Kim as soon as he comes up. So good job of Shingyun Kim to keeping that distance short, get that ultimate in. He's going to try to do something with that. Hyungwoo Kim takes a little bit of damage though.
Look at that heal by Cheapers by Shingyun Kim. This is, you know, Soul Fighter the most heals ever. End of story.
And the Juno Han actually gets an aerial and puts that damage and initiates that damage into Hyungwoo Kim's initiate as well. So Shingyun Kim is now on the Soul Fighter. He has that 1 tag point if he chooses to use it, but he's gonna have to save that for now. Try to put in as much damage to his opposition before he does go back out.
Yeah, and everybody gets an interfered point back at the 3-minute mark. However, Byung Kim and Hyungwoo Kwang both use their interfered points right away to save Shingyun Kim.
Shingyun Kim is full health once again, and this is the mantra of a Force Master and a Soul Fighter, but Soul Fighter to a greater extent, I would have to say. The heal back is real, but that's gonna go against them though once it does go to the TKO, if it does go to that stage. But Shingyun Kim is gonna be very healthy for the next 30 seconds. They have to put some damage, as much of it as possible, towards Hyungwoo Kim. He has to be knocked out.
Exactly, and KUDETA not having an assassin and having a Soul Fighter, they probably don't want to go to the TKO because there's
Oh.
so much heals for the Soul Fighter. So
Yep.
they want to try to knock down at least 2 players.
And finally, I think Hyungi Kim is trying to make that statement
Winslow
against
combo.
the opponents, but Hyungi Kim is countering back deck
Ground
damage
ripple, there we
onto
go.
Soul Fighter.
This
This is
is
going to be
what I
the
like,
initial
another
combo.
Winslow combo.
And there's no way to escape that damage. It's almost
Oh,
enough, and it
back
is
row
enough
chase
damage.
finishes him off.
Yeah, and that is enough for that back row chase to get that damage onto Hyungi Kim, and it will be the second man knocked out for GC Busan Red. Junohan has a lot of work cut out for him now. There's 3 men still alive for KUDETA, and Junohan is the only man left for GC Busan Red. Has to do the carry. It is possible with a Warlock, but it will be difficult nonetheless.
It will be difficult because Shinga Kim has an interfere point, so he will be able to save Byung-Woo Kim once, at least. And there we go. With the interfere comes in, does some damage to Junohan.
but
Maybe more than some damage.
Yeah, Shinga Kim doing work now on this tag match. They will get to the 10 seconds left until that 1 minute mark, which will give them the interfere back. So that's just more advantage going towards KUDETA because GC Busan Red has nobody to interfere with.
Yeah. And if you notice, Hyungu Kim and Sung Jin Choi, they both have their ults.
This is their chance. This is their chance for KUDETA to finish off Junohan right here because, you know, without the interfere that Junohan can use for his teammates, this is a chance for the 2 interferes to come in straight away. Try to put that damage. The offensive interfere will be the likely situation. And the Soul Fighter putting in that damage onto Junohan, who can't do anything about the re-knocker from the blade. That's onto the lightning draw will finish him off. And KUDETA gets that crucial 2 points in this game 6.
Wow, exactly like yesterday, we are going to be playing the full 7 sets.
It is, yeah.
Ooh, I'm so excited. Like, it's like yesterday, GC Busan Blue versus IDEPS.
Yeah.
You know, who would have thought we would have played the full 7 sets?
But if it is a full repeat of what we saw yesterday, GC Busan Red would be the IDEPS of yesterday, who were really ahead in the early parts of the series, but GC Busan Blue found their way in the late part of that series to get all those points in the end to get out the win in the series. So if your theory is true ending, the repetition should happen towards the way, and KUDETA would get the game 7 and get to win the series.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm so excited.
It is an exciting thing.
I love it when it goes back and forth, and right now we are tied now 4-4. And Hyungu Kim early game this time, he does live this time around, but he took too much damage, and it has only been 1 minute and 20 seconds.
And a big props out to Shinga Kim as well. You see from the early game to the mid game to the end of the game, he has done work and proved everybody wrong that Soul Fighter is still viable as long as he plays it.
Yeah, as long as he plays. Yeah, I'm so happy that you
that's the
added
big
that
mark,
on. As long as Shinga Kim plays the Soul Fighter, it is playable.
So if you guys are viewing from us from the Twitch chat, and you can try to play the Soul Fighter, and don't blame us if it's not as good as you think. So you know, it's Shinga Kim. He's the one that makes the impossible possible, and he does it again with the Soul Fighter here that we thought we would never see for this time period that we see him.
That's so amazing. I love the Soul Fighter. But you know, maybe after this tournament, maybe I'll go up to Shinga Kim and tell him, you know, you could stop playing the Soul Fighter because you nerfed him like
You can nerf it again.
Don't nerf it again. You've nerfed him enough.
Basically unplayable if he nerfs it again. So at least let the Soul Fighter mains have their moments. But Shinga Kim is probably the biggest enemy of them all. So doing a good job this time around though. KUDETA gets that 2 points that they crucially needed in that game 6 and game 7. They have just an equal chance as GC Busan Red to pick out the series.
Yeah, and now on camera you see both KUDETA and GC Busan Red, and they are serious mode. You know, there were some smiling faces before, but now if you see them, they are talking on their comms, you know, planning and serious mode.
And I like how the camera did zoom in on Hyungu Kim. He's gonna be the difference maker for GC Busan Red because he has been the least performing guy for this team, and he has to step up and play a much better game to give GC Busan Red a chance now because KUDETA, Shinga Kim is popping off now. He is on that mode that we reminded us of 2014 and 2015, back when he was really, really good, and he's just trying to repeat that performance again, but without Hyungu Kim's contribution, it's gonna be difficult to GC Busan Red to get a victory, but we're gonna have to find out. All the stories aside, it will be the last match of the series between KUDETA and GC Busan Red, the tag match to decide it all. We'll get the match underway. Let's get it on. And just like yesterday, we didn't expect this series to go to full set where GC Busan Red was so ahead in this early parts of the series where, you know, by the end of game 4, just like yesterday, they were so many points ahead and we thought that KUDETA couldn't make it this far, but 44, as you see on the scoreline, is just basically equality between these two sides right now.
Yeah, GC Busan Red was up 4-1.
Oh, the Warlock knocking off Shinga Kim early would be crucial for this play, but just survives, and Shinga Kim has to tag out, which he does, but Junohan goes for that chase immediately as soon as he comes out, but like I said, if you knock off Shinga Kim early in this game, within the first minute, that would have been a very likable win to GC Busan Red.
Oh, definitely, and I'm sure they talked about it. You know, let's focus on Shinga Kim.
Yeah.
Let's do offensive interference when Shinga Kim is out to get rid of him, because he is the key player that's been showing so much on KUDETA so far.
And Junohan was the first man to knock out, and just coming that offensive interference so early and so aggressively might have caught him off guard, and Shinga Kim did take a lot of damage before he was tagged out.
Yeah, so basically this match is going back and forth. You know, last time GC Busan Red beat KUDETA so fast in the first tag, and then the second tag KUDETA beats GC Busan Red in a comfortable fashion, and now we're going back and forth. And Shinga Kim has taken so much damage already.
As soon as he gets that stun up, he uses the tab escape, then uses time distortion to get it right back, but this is another point of focus where Hyungi Kim, if he performs well, he will give a lot better chance towards his side of GC Busan Red, but without that, it'll be very tough, but reactionary 2v2 is going to be coming up. So mostly a defensive one for both sides, but Hyungi Kwon, on the world, he's done fairly well in Game 6. If he does exactly the same thing, that should give another chance towards KUDETA to get this win.
Yeah, Shinga Kim being on Soul Fighter has healed up quite a bit right now.
Yeah,
from, when he had that 5% health, now he is almost at like 40%.
Yeah.
But that's not important because GC Busan Red barely took any damage right now.
That's true. And I think the tag points right now is very even towards both sides. 2 tag points being used by GC Busan Red along with KUDETA. That's getting into the area. It might be the start of the damage that Hyungi Kim is looking for. Gonna knock him down. And it's trying to be the damage, but Hyungi Kwon puts out that paper in front of his face, negating any type of damage possibilities.
Yeah, he is trying to save that tag because five seconds later, Hyungi Kwon will be force tagged out.
But it's taking a little bit too much damage before he is force tagged out.
Okay,
but a lot of distance being covered by KUDETA, which is going to negate that chase opportunity. But Shinga Kim, as you say, is back out onto the field. He's going to have to look for a better performance than he did in the first time as soon as he came into the game. But the bombard being bombarded on the ground, so that was a waste of a bombard, but didn't want from that.
Nice chase with the tag out from Hyungi Kim into Sungjin Choi.
Predicted that tag in from Sungjin Choi on that destroyer. Does go for that chase right away, puts him into the aerial with that damage, but Sungjin Choi is going to be relatively healthy with that heal back with the stone shield.
Yep. Yeah, he's just waiting to heal up.
But it is definitely right for both of these teams right now to take it easy and take it slow.
Oh, yeah.
Look for good opportunities because one crucial mistake, this other team will be able to take advantage of those situations.
Yeah, and that reflect with the drag, that was it's not uncommon with these players, but if it were me, maybe I would have gotten hit by that drag.
But stun does come out. This is what I'm talking about. The crucial mistake is going to be the stun getting hit. He's tab escape to get out of there, but time distortion used by his teammate Junohan to get Sungjin Choi his escape back. But Shinga Kim doesn't have that same luxury where Hyungi Kwon doesn't come in for that time distortion, but Shinga Kim is going to have to live without that 15 seconds without that escape, and Sungjin Choi maybe has to take advantage of that, but he is also out of his escape already. And that's going to be just equality going, probably taking it slow once again for these next few seconds.
Yeah, that was very good interfered by Byung-Woo Kim, saving Shinga Kim when he was knocked down. He Phantom Grips the destroyer away from him and lands a lightning draw, but Sungjin Choi once again healed up everything.
Shinga Kim is not going to be looking for these poke damage. It's not going to do much to the destroyer. He's going to have to look for the all-in on that continuous damage that he might be looking for. But Hyungi Kwon
force tagged out. Oh no!
It's going to be the wrong player to come in. He has a very little HP. Might have to be forced to just tag himself back in using that tag point. But probably not the right player to come out onto the field for KUDETA.
Yeah, and Junohan is out with almost full health. He cast the ult, but he just papers it. He papers it away.
Get canceled by the paper.
Hyungi Kwon does have 2 tag points, like you mentioned. He could tag out at any time, but let's see. Oh, he won't be.
This might be the start of it. The defensive interference coming in very nicely, negating much of the damage. That would have definitely killed off Hyungi Kwon. So Good job by his teammates from KUDETA to save him there in that instance.
Good tag out by Hyokwan. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
too dangerous to
It
stay
was.
in any longer. Shingyun Kim is almost at full health, the Soul Fighter.
And this,
so,
and this is a key matchup though, because Shingyun Kim and Juno Han, they are the crucial carries for both of their respective teams, and whoever comes out on top in this particular matchup will be likely the winner of this entire team tag. But
Oh, no,
the
that
ultimate is proccing, is getting a good damage. So
yeah.
Hyungin Kim finally making things work, putting that damage onto him. But Shingyun Kim, being the Soul Fighter that he is, gonna heal back some of that health. But Hyungin Kim finally a glimpse of bright light for this guy and putting that ultimate into good use. Putting that damage onto him already.
Yep, there we go. Tags out. Sungjin Choi comes in. Now, if you notice, Sungjin Choi is out of his tags.
Yeah.
So he has to endure another 1 minute and 34 seconds until he is force tagged out. However, his teammates do have two interfere
yes.
points, so he won't be in, too much of a tight spot, but we'll have to see what happens.
And plus what you see here with that stone shield, he can heal himself back up if he does take a little bit of damage. So he will be relatively healthy for that next 1 minute and 15 seconds, but Byung Kim is not going to allow that time to just run out. He's going to have to use the interfere that Hyungkwan does have. Tries to put enough damage to finish him off, but Juno Han does come in already using that time distortion onto our Sungjin Choi. So Hyungkwan has to make something work out of this, but nothing coming from it yet.
All right, all of that interfere.
Oh, the bombard coming in for Hyungkwan Kim off the interfere. Might be good enough damage, but not enough to finish him off though. Hyungkwan on the slimmest of health. He does have the attack point, which he does use very smartly to get himself out, and Shingyun Kim is back on the floor. Oh, the Soul Fighter, so the Soul Fighter ultimate!
But it's not hurting him at all!
Against the Destroyer, he does negate that damage.
Wow.
Very cool animations though.
Yeah.
We don't see the Soul Fighter animations very much on that ultimate, but does not connect this time around.
Yeah, usually like last time during the season, we did see the Soul Fighter ult, the heal ult. But this time around, he did use that ult.
Onto the knockdown into the Groggy, and that's going to be almost enough
no
damage.
Points, no tag points.
Yeah,
4 seconds until he gets his escape back.
15 seconds is what Sungjin Choi has to stall out. His other two teammates are very, very healthy, so it will be very good for him to stall out as much time. Shingyun Kim should not be allowing this time to get him to get the free tag. He has to put in the damage, but not finding much position to do so.
Yeah, and I'm very surprised that Shingyun Kim used that offensive ult. Usually, if a Soul Fighter does come out, they usually use the defensive ult, which heals you like crazy.
Yeah.
But this time around, Shingyun Kim being Shingyun Kim, decided to use that offensive ult.
Hey, but without that ultimate, he's still relatively healthy. He can find enough heals to heal himself back to full health every time he does get damaged. So now actually the time distortion coming in for the Warlock. That's a crooked time distortion in that animation. Lovely to see that. But Hyungin Kim does get that stealth back onto that tab escape. So full health right now is what he's dealing with. So Shingyun Kim, he's going to be relatively healthy for most of this part. But
he
at
dodged
this
that
point,
back row chase.
but with 2 minutes left in the game ending, I think it's the point where GC BUSAN Red is really counting on their damage charts now.
Yeah,
because Shingyun Kim has taken a lot of damage that he healed back for himself. So, if GC BUSAN Red just can keep this up without taking crucial damage from the side of KUDETA, they will most likely be the winner from the damage charts.
All right, now Juno Han is out of the Warlock with full health, no tag or interfere. Well, interfere doesn't matter if you're on the field, but anyways, he has to last another minute and 30 seconds.
Yep. And Juno Han will be fine with that because the one interfere coming in from both players will be the answer. But the Blade&soul ultimate hitting the Juno Han. This might be the damage chart. A little bit skewed towards KUDETA now with that Blade&soul ultimate hitting a half a proc of that.
Ooh, yeah, Byung Kim coming in with the tag and landing that ult was crucial.
Yes, it was, and Juno Han uses that interfere from his teammate, tries to use that as defensively, but no damage going into either side quite yet. But there's one more interfere on the side of GC BUSAN Red, which they do use now from the Sungjin Choi, but it is the 1 minute mark. Every teammate will get their interfere points back, which they do now. So have to use it. Juno Han ultimate is cancelled right away as soon as he procs it.
Yep, into the air. This is not looking good. 2 players are out. A lot of damage.
The interfere has to be used and gets him into that decoy, which would negate that damage. But still, Juno Han is in a very dangerous situation. He has 35 seconds with the slimmest of health that he has to somehow hold on. But it's that counter damage coming from Juno Han onto Byung Kim. And that is a blade that is taking a lot of damage. He also doesn't have his tag point. So now the shift is definitely going towards GC BUSAN Red now.
They're going full out. They've used almost all their interference. Sang Choi is the only one with that interfere.
Yeah.
He has to make a difference before this clock runs out. 13 seconds for a force tag for both of them. 15 seconds left of the whole match.
They're going for it. This is the damage enough to knock him out, and Byung Kim is knocked out from Juno Han, and that is enough damage coming from the interfere, and this might be the difference maker for GC Busan Red. The damage shot will definitely go towards the right side.
Yeah, 2 seconds left, and Shinga Kim is trying to.
It's over. I think it's
over.
definitely over here, and from what we've seen, GC Busan Red should have definitely an edge here from the damage chart.
Yeah, and you see on the camera at the bottom,
They're
GC
happy.
Busan Red,
They're celebrating. They
are confident. They are confident.
It is
There
very
we go.
much a landslide victory in the damage chart for GC Busan Red. We cannot negate the healing that Shin Kim does on the Soul Fighter.
Exactly.
It goes to easy on us when, if you're good at mathematics or not. You can kind of see when you're even with so much health possibilities available. You obviously know it's gonna go towards the one without the healer.
Yeah, throughout the whole game, GC Busan Red probably had the edge on the damage chart, but there was this one moment when Byung Kim comes in with the ult and he lands on Juno Han's with the Blade Dancer ult, like almost half health. That that could have kind of let KUDETA catch up a little bit. However, with the last 30 seconds, GC Busan Red going full out on KUDETA, knocking them out, doing as much damage as they can, gives GC Busan Red the sure win.
And just by looking at that number, we did actually see from the damage chart, we knew that Byung Kim's Blade Dancer Ultimate was the crucial difference maker, but it just seemed like they had a lot more work to cut out for them, and a lot more work to do, putting that damage that evened out all the healing that Shin Kim did for himself. So even with that Blade Dancer Ultimate, they had to do a lot more work to beat out GC Busan Red in the damage charts.
Exactly, and KUDETA did perform very well. It's just that Shingyun Kim, being the Soul Fighter with the nerf Soul Fighter, he does put in the damage, but it's not as good anymore. And Hyunggu Kwon on the Warlock with such little health throughout most of the game. Yeah, you just saw Byung Kim's ult, but however, as I was saying, Hyunggu Kwon being the Warlock, such low health, he can't interfere when he wants to put in the damage. He has to be the one to come in, do the double aerial, brand, do the damage like Juno Han